Hi, I'm Dennis Washington from Cross Digital and CrossDig.com with your weekly pep talk, Be a Person of Values. I've had an opportunity this quarter, and still happening right now, to be a Bible teacher for our 11th and 12th graders at our church. If you've got any teenagers or dealt with them, you know that's a very interesting age. They're looking for their individuality, expressing a lot of it, but also making some tough decisions about things that could affect the rest of their life. And one of the things we're studying right now in that class is While You Were Away from Home. It's a great book. In fact, it's written by Mike Johnson. I don't know if you can, so I'll hold this up here so you can see this, but it's called While You Were Away from Home. And it's just different little miniature sermons, not really sermons, but some ideas on things to consider when you move away from home. And I bring this to your attention because I think there's some things that are being said here that can really apply to all of us, even if we've moved away from home many years ago. This past Sunday, we studied about about Mordecai, who was the uncle of Esther. And there's a lot that's said, a lot about Esther and a little bit about Mordecai, but there's one verse that one verse in the Bible says tremendous things about Mordecai. In Esther chapter 10, and I'll actually read, start in verse 2, but it says, Now all the acts of his power and his might and the account of the greatness of Mordecai, to which the king advanced him, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia? Now, pay attention to this. For Mordecai the Jew was second to King Ahasuerus, and was great among the Jews, and well received by the multitude of his brethren, seeking the good of his people, and speaking peace to all of his countrymen. There are four things said right there about that man in that one verse that are tremendous. Let me point them out. There are four values, basically, that are pointed out there. Number one, he valued his religion. It talks about there that he was great among the Jews. If you've studied anything about the Jewish religion, about the Jewish people, you know that the religion and their life are intertwined. It's not something that they do extracurricular. So if you're considered to be great among the Jews, you're considered to be very religious. And so he was considered great among the Jews. That was a very big honor. You know, and the point that we made in our Bible class, are you considered great in your religion? When your friends and your family and everyone you come in contact with, do they consider you to be a Christian? Not just to be a great person, but to also be a great Christian. That was one of the things pointed out. The second value, he valued his reputation. It said there that he was well received by the multitude of his brethren. Again, does that speak of you? Do people receive you well? Or do people really shy away from you and don't want to be around you? When you're away from home, you should strive to have a good reputation. Now, some people say, I don't really care what people think about me. Okay, maybe you don't. But think about the consequences of that, especially from a Christian point of view. If you're trying to lead others to Christ, if people don't like you and you don't care what they think about you, they're not going to care what you have to say either. Same is true for your business. If you're trying to sell a product or a service and you have a bad reputation, you're not going to be a very successful businessman because people don't really think that highly of you. But if you have a good reputation and are concerned about your reputation, the good customer service, the good quality of the products and services are going to come along with that. So valuing your reputation. Number three, valuing responsibility. It said right there, seeking the good of his people. He wanted the people in his life to be good. And everyone he came in contact, he wanted them to be good. He wanted them to do the right thing. Well, we all want that, don't we? Don't we want all the people around us? We want our employees to be the best they can be, to be good at what they do. We want our customers to walk away happy and do the best that they can. Give them the tools and our product and our service to help them accomplish what they want to accomplish in their life. So we value that responsibility of knowing that we're not just making some money, but we're helping people from a religious point of view and a business point of view. And then finally, you value your relationships. Now, anybody that is a good salesman knows you have to value your relationships. They are the key between winning and losing, having success and having failure. In this case, Mordecai valued his relationships. The final thing is said about him is that he was commended for speaking peace to all of his countrymen. He didn't go out and speak mean to them. He wasn't ugly to them. He spoke peace to them. He valued the relationships with his countrymen. They valued him, as it said earlier. He values them. He values those relationships. Don't you value the relationships in your life? As a boss, if you're leading your company, you've got to have good relationships, not only with your board of directors, your other managers, but your employees and your customers. You've got to value those relationships. If you're not maybe a top manager, but you're an employee in a company, you've got to have a good relationship with your boss or you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be a productive worker for the company. You've got to value the relationships with the customers you make, because those customers could become repeat customers depending on how you treat them. Those relationships are critical. So valuing those relationships, in the case valuing the religion, the responsibility, a lot of values there. And I challenge you today, as you go through the day and through this week, what are you valuing? What are you putting the importance on? Value those relationships, your responsibility, all of the things in your life that will help you help your business grow. It really pulls down to, even your reputation. What do people think of you in that regard? Make those values important. Be valuable and let your values shine. I'm Dennis Washington from Cross Digital and CrossDig.com with your weekly pep talk, Values.